What's up? Welcome back to Ang's channel, and today we'll be continue with our stock review session. And today we'll be looking at the first stocks of the Russell 2000, which is the small cap companies within the US stocks. And this is Rocket Lab. So without further ado, let's go. So on this chart, we have the Rocket Lab. I'm sure that you heard of it, but never actually know what the company does and never actually went into their financials as well. So this company, with at their lows since 2022 until 2024, of duration 2 years, and now it's just surged up, making the all-time high at $36. Without further ado, let's go look at their financial status. But first of all, we'll be looking at the revenues of Rocket Lab, and from here we can see that over the past 2021 until now, the quarter returns of the revenue is actually quite significant, with increasing revenues over the past few quarters. As for the net income, it's slightly negative, and we can actually see some increasing in negative value of net income, which is actually kind of concerning, as it starts to not making money even more. So it starts to become more negative in terms of net income, and in terms of free cash flow, we do have see some increasing, so less negative free cash flow of this company. So the basic fundamentals of the financials for this company is actually quite, we said it's not good. So finally, in the series of stock review, right, finally review a stock that is not good enough, because previously we just reviewed the Max 7, which is ultimately the best of the best already. And right now, just picking from these 2000 small cap companies, there's a lot of opportunities, and this is just not one of them. And this is just a company that has just started up since 2020, which is a bad moment to start, which is during COVID, I think. And this Rocket Lab actually provides services in terms of rocket launching or the space system collaborations or solutions as well. Now, if we move into ChatGPT to further look at how actually this company works, right, it's actually that the stream income breaks down into launcher services, which they have electron rockets and frequently small satellite launches. They have space systems, which is satellite compound, star trackers, or even solar panels, and spacecraft platform, which is the Photon spacecraft. Future expansion, which is the neutron rocket, which is mid-sized rocket for large payload, and space manufacturing for and deep space mission. This company's strength is actually having vertical integration, because it owns both rocket manufacturing as well as the space systems. Certain other things such as high launch condense, which is one of the most frequent small launch provider, and also niche focus, as they dominate small payloads market under 200 kg. And they also expanding to mid-sized launch, which is neutron rocket, aims to compete with the SpaceX Falcon 9 for small payload rideshare alternative. And some weaknesses for this company is actually still unprofitable. Yes, I do think that we are, just as we saw from the financial status, high R&D and expansion costs, which cash burns presents, and dependent on government contracts such as reliance on NASA, DoD, and other defensive works, and small payload market saturations. SpaceX dominance, because they face stiff competition with SpaceX, which is probably now one of the most famous space-related company, with which they continuously launch rockets in small size, while at the same time maintaining resources and not being wasteful, because the rocket is actually reusable. It's quite crazy. And the summary take is that Rocket Lab is a strong small set launch with integrated hardware capabilities, but face profitability challenges and intense competition. That actually explains why the net income is negative and the free cash flow is negative as well, because they are actually currently in a state of not being able to profit from what they are doing, because due to research and development, the cost of the rockets, as well as very high competition when compared to SpaceX, and dependent on more contracts such as NASA and their governments US as well. So let's bring us down to the ROE and ROI. From the chart over here, we can actually see that the ROE highest is 32%, but since then, it just keep dropping until further now, which is around negative 40 something. And similar to ROIC, whereby it's actually in a negative form. So it's pretty much a company that, as a value investor or as a buy and hold strategy, this can be a dangerous company to own because you don't know whether it's going to get any losses or just starts to become even more not being able to profit from what they are doing. As mentioned for the R&D, they actually spend a lot of money, as we can see over here, so they are constantly increasing their costs in their research and development for the space, for the rocket, for the space system and solutions. If this company is being able to provide a revolutionary solutions, or to provide something that the SpaceX or other space related company that is not being able to provide and there is high demand on it, only then this company will be able to see some positive free cash flow and positive net income, which will ultimately increase and improve the sentiment of this company, whereby it will become more attractable. So over here we are at the stock analysis to view the net cash. And surprisingly, we can actually see the net cash of Rocket Lab is actually positive. However, only by 22 million. It's not a lot, but for small caps, it's actually acceptable. The highest they have is actually 500 million. From there on, it just starts to decreasing. As I understand, they put all the money into their R&D in order to improve their rockets or space system solutions. As for the debt equity ratio, we can see here is actually staying at the 1.14%, which is actually not very nice to our stand, because me personally myself, I prefer to buy a stock that has low debt equity ratio below 1 at least, so indicate that the stocks or the company actually has less debt than what they actually own. So overall, this company, right, is actually in the stage whereby they are not starting to profit yet, and however they do face certain challenges in their field because of very high pressured competitors such as the SpaceX, which actually excelled in small rockets with less fuel and lighter rockets to be launched, and they are actually launched multi and frequently as compared to Rocket Lab. Despite all those challenges, as well as the financial status whereby they are still not profitable yet, the stocks actually already react to whereby the stocks is now at the it's actually at the all-time high, which is sitting at $36. So whether or not this stocks is going to stay here and go even further, or it will start to come back down due to its challenges or the uncertainty in the terms of financial statements. However, I do think that in the long run, if this company starts to have some profits, they start to gain money, such as increasing net income and increasing free cash flow, and also hold a lot of cash, which allows them to be reserved for their further research and development without needing to actually borrow mortgage or debts from the bank. Until then, I will be looking at the company and observe until what I just said has happened. And this stock is actually surging up to the all-time highs, maybe due to the hotness of saying maybe Rocket Lab have certain designs and whatsoever. And yeah, because they actually successfully launched the 67 electron rocket, which deployed 4 satellites for Hawkeye 360. That actually signifies that their company are actually achieving goals which they set previously and actually meets the requirement of the consumer that provides more confidence to the shareholders. I think this company is a pretty solid company if they manage to start gaining positive net income and positive free cash flow. So until then, I will not touch these stocks. This is just one of the seeds that maybe they may become one of the top companies of top stocks inside the US market. So right now, finally, we'll be looking at the economic mode of this Rocket Lab company, whereby we'll be looking at 5 factors to determine their moat. So first is going to brand loyalty and pricing power. So it's known as a proven provider in small, medium satellite launches, yet pricing power limited by competition such as SpaceX and ULA. So this branding and pricing power actually at 6, meaning that there's actually a lot other options for the consumers to choose, or the retails or the business maker to choose. Rocket Lab is just one of them. It's not the one that outstands others. As for the high barriers to entry, yes, strong, because advanced tech such as the rocket they use, which is electron rockets, right? And the Rutherford engine neutron launch sites and IP create significantly harder. So this kind of space related company is actually hard to enter because it takes a lot of time, money, as well as technology in order to build this company and gain confidence from consumers in order to attract them to spend money and use their product. And for the switching cost, it's actually moderate because customers value reliability and contents, but can shift to larger capacity providers like SpaceX. As alternative to Rocket Lab, SpaceX can be a better option if you want to increase a larger capacity or medium rocket size. As for the network effect, it's as low moderate because launch contents and plug and play capabilities attract customers. So, but no classic two-sided networks. And as for the scale of economic, it's actually moderate because it's in-house manufacturing, 90% of the components robotic, rosy and shared launch sites, boosting scales. So overall, the economic moat score of this company is sitting at 4.6. It's actually not a wide moat company, but somewhat moderate company, which is actually not bad, but it's not good. The summary outlook is that it's moderate. Rocket Lab shows solid structural advantage in technology and manufacturing, but its moat is narrower compared to the company which provide various rockets options, as well as being one of the biggest brand in terms of space company like SpaceX. Owning its launch infrastructure and vertical integration are strong positive for Rocket Lab. The risk and catalyst, right, is that the Neutron rocket debut expected in late 2025, which is actually just the news that we got. They actually successfully deployed 4 satellites using this rocket, and the market actually surged up. And the ongoing backlog, momentum in satellite systems support recurring revenue, and still face steep competitions and execution risk. So overall, this company is actually, I do think this company is still at the phase of growing and researching and finding a better solution to their consumer. And if that happens, only then it will start to become a very strong company with strong name, strong branding, and strong pricing power. So until then, I do think that Rocket Lab is just a on hold observations stock, which quite fun to look at because there's a lot of different items that is not related to our daily life. It's just rocket companies, space solutions, and so on and so forth. So if you are interested in space work, space solution, space system, you can go and check out the company of Rocket Lab. Go see what they do in details and what is their source of revenue. So I guess that is all for me for today's stocks review. If you like my video, you can actually support me by clicking the thumbs up and put the subscribe button on, and I'll see you on the next stock review. Until then, bye bye.